Buying a used car is never an easy task, and especially if you're talking late 90s to early 2000s Mercedes-Benz, when the brand had some of the worst days for the brand reputation, then you're in for a challenge. And if you top that challenge up with the harsh UAE weather conditions, some might say you're an idiot. I'd give you a high five and say you're the man, but that's why I made this video, in order to show you guys, was I an idiot, or should someone high five me, or I don't know. Anyways, like I said, the harsh UAE weather conditions. For your car, it's check this out. Again, the empty car lot, and the guy stops right behind me. Unbelievable. So my car was imported into the UAE exactly 4 years ago, and I purchased it 3 years ago. And since it was in my ownership, it was always parked underground, so it was pretty well preserved and well kept, and it was a really good car to begin with. And I know a lot of you guys who think you know stuff about cars and this and that goes there, oh it's this. You're all gonna say, never, oh Milos, don't buy a import car in the GCC area. You should, in Abu Dhabi, you should only buy the GCC cars, otherwise all the imports, soon enough, they're all gonna go. Well, guess what? They're not. And you need to knock it off with all that nonsense. So, to go back to the question, was I an idiot, or should I high five myself at least? Well, that's why I made this video, and I'm gonna try and break it down for you how much exactly it cost me to own this car and keep it running and use it as a daily driver. Yes, I use the Mercedes-Benz CL500, this luxurious yacht. I used it as a daily driver. But first of all, before I get into the video, I need to take the car for a quick wash. Actually, for a thorough wash. Because as you can tell, it collected quite a bit of dust and dirt and sand and what have you. You can see they all look like rock chips, but trust me, it's just the dirt. Before I get into any of that, let me just show you. Out of all of the parking spaces here, you see that? All of them. I park here. And just now the guy comes over, he parks right next to me. Right. Let me show you what just turned up 2 days ago. Where's my keys? Got him. See this little thingy over here? It's called the boogeyman, aka the check engine light. Yep. Once you turn the car on, it should go away, right? Well, not since 2 days back. It stays on. And I did go and check it with my mechanic. He said it has to do with the EGR, so no worries there. He said just continue driving it and come back anytime you have a day or two to drop it off and just have it maintained. And now, off to the car wash. Now that I'm back from the car wash, I'd like to start off from the front, where you can see the dual headlight design. which Mercedes was putting on their models since I believe 1995 all the way up to roughly 2012, when the restyling model of the W211 E-Class came out. Some people might say it's ugly, some people say it's cute. For me personally, it never bothered me, and over time it kind of grew on me. And my daughter says that the car, when you look at it from the front, it looks like a teddy bear with googly eyes and the side mirrors looking like tiny ears. So I'll take that. And looking from the side, you can see the double hinge door, where the door actually overlaps the front fender, allowing you more space to get out in a tight parking space. And speaking of doors, this is my favorite part right here. It's the metal plate on the side of the door, and one more over here on the doorstep, which really gives it that luxurious feel and look. However, I want to discuss also the most questionable thing about my car, and that will be the size of the wheels. I have people telling me all the time, Milos, you should change the size, you should go for the 19s, it will give it that sinister look. And I was going to do that in the first place, but then I started liking these factory wheels, and I believed it was giving it more of that classic Mercedes look, you know, so it's not overly modified or too many crap was put on the car, if you know what I mean. But recently I've been going back on that idea, and I feel like actually doing something about the wheels and going for the 19s. And I would appreciate any kind of advice or on the size and the shape of the wheels that I should go for. Another thing that I want to point out that I really like about the car is the B-pillar, or the lack of one. As you can tell, I've rolled down all the windows, and this is the closest I'll ever get to owning a convertible, I guess. But I really do enjoy it, especially in these months in Abu Dhabi. I'd say somewhere from mid-October all the way, if we're lucky, up to mid-April. And for a 16-year-old car, it has no body panels resprayed. It's in really good condition. And let me show you something, what happens when your concentration goes down. When your concentration goes down, the body panels get hurt. Fortunately enough for me, in this case, it was just the side skirt, which is plastic, and I've been told it can be easily fixed by the body shop I visited. But I'm actually considering option of trying to find a replacement body panel in the same color, which will make me feel more at ease than just doing a respray on this one, because I will not be sure of the quality of the end product. Because I don't know what your experiences are, or if you live in the UAE like me, it's relatively impossible to find a trustworthy shop which will do anything, any mechanical or electrical or body work on your car. So until that time arrives, I'm just gonna drive around with this ugly sellotape on top of it, and I will just not care. I also saw a video of a guy chopping his CL500, and somewhere from this line right here all the way to the quarter panel, and it looks amazing. He even went through the trouble of creating the mechanism for electrically powered hardtop, and I would never do that to my car, because mine is in such a good shape that it will feel like sacrilegious if I did something like that to it. But if you find one that's had a tough life, then it's something I would definitely go for, at least just for fun of cutting it off and never bothering creating a mechanism for the hardtop coming back, just for fun. I also like to thank the UAE and its busy car market, where the pathology of the market is, if you're driving a 6-year-old car, you're already driving a beater, it's too old, you should change it, you should get something newer, something better, blah blah blah, yakety yak, which works great for me because me and car enthusiasts, we can enjoy vehicles like these for really a fraction of MSRP, original MSRP. And let me talk more about the pricing when I get inside the car, because it's getting really hot outside. The CL's interior looks like any other S-Class interior, with wood and leather just about everywhere, which makes it a really nice place to be, and it's a really safe place to be, with a total of 10 airbags. There are two things that sometimes I wish my car had. First of which would be the keyless entry and go system, which will place the engine start stop button right there, and the radar guided cruise control, which will come somewhere here. But again, I'll take comfort in knowing that those are the two things which will never go wrong on my car, because I don't have them. And I'm not sure if I already mentioned, but my car is a Japanese spec car. So I have a 2-stage heated front seats without the option of ventilated seats, plus this heated steering wheel. Needless to say, two of the options that will never ever get used. So now, the awkward part. I'll start off with the battery, which I replaced 2.5 years ago. It came with 2-year warranty, the Bosch AGM battery. You might be shocked by the price, but it's a really good quality battery, and it lasts 2.5 years in this weather, so highly recommended. 1,260 dirhams. I'm just gonna name the prices now, and later on I'm gonna try and break it down what was replaced. 830 dirhams, 790 dirhams, 5,650 dirhams, 1,790, 6,020 dirhams. And here's the interesting one. 4 tires for the 17s with the alignment, 1,725. If I manage to find, I'll drop a picture to show you what my previous set of tires looked like. They were the Japanese tires, the winter tires. Yes, I drove in Abu Dhabi for 2 years on a set of winter tires, and I changed them 1.5 years ago. So that brings it to a total of 18,065 dirhams. And it is actually a few weeks later here, because the other day I got interrupted and I could not finish recording, which only gave me time to realize that my radiator had sprung a leak. So it was replaced, of course, and unfortunately my transmission went into limp mode and was giving me only second and reverse gears. That was all due to the faulty transmission control module, or the faulty gear control unit if you're from the UK. So that was also replaced, reprogrammed, and put back inside my car, and now I'm happy to say that everything functions perfectly. It's just that it only added 3,800 dirhams to the total cost of ownership, which is now close to 22,000 dirhams. And if I would add a purchase price of 18,000 dirhams, it will lead up to 40,000, which makes it almost 1,000 dirhams a month after 39 months of ownership. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the end result, because for 1,300 dirhams a month, I could have rented a Nissan Sunny, which is a relatively decent car, but it's nowhere near good enough to be compared to my CL500, even though this one is 16 years old. I already mentioned that the battery, the tires, the radiator, the transmission control module were all replaced during my ownership, and a couple of things I want to mention is that under the hood, starting from the valve cover gaskets and the breathers all the way back to the rear main seal, everything got replaced, along with the idler pulley and both engine mounts and the gear mount, and a lot of miscellaneous bits and pieces. So that was included in the 22,000 dirhams of maintenance. Eventually it all comes down to you to decide what kind of a budget you want to take to purchase the car, and what kind of money you want to set aside to have your car dialed in and all sorted out. I'm very happy with my decision, and I decided that it's time to high five myself. And if any of you want to high five me too, you can write it down in the comments below. And I do hope that you'll be pleased with your purchase and decision, just as I was with mine.